right? What a gross day. Surprisingly enough, it's actually not too terribly cold out here. So I figured I would come outside and basically try and get used to what I'm going to be dealing with for the next 4 or 5 months, right? I have 2 more days to pack for my trip to sea. I'm going to leave Pittsburgh and head to Virginia, where I get to go see my brother, which I'm actually super excited about. I'm going to go see Zach. And once I get there, the next day after I arrive, I'm going to go to the Union Hall. Basically, I mean, there are some exceptions, but for the most part, everybody who ships in the U.S. has to ship through a union. I'm a member of an officers' union, and their union halls are all over the country, but because Zach lives in Virginia, it's kind of a twofer. I get to hang out at the union hall, and I also get to hang out with him for a little bit. For how long, we don't really know, because basically, when I go to the union, I never know whether or not I'm going to get a job straight away or not. It's pretty much a crapshoot. They call the jobs once a day at 11 or noon. I can't even remember what time they call the jobs, but basically when one pops up, you have a union card that's based on both your seniority in the union and when you've registered. Since you got off the last ship, my old card expired because I didn't work throughout COVID, so I had to get a card a couple months ago. So I have a 2-month-old, very junior card. But if nobody else is bidding a job, then I get it. So it's going to be just a lot of waiting, or maybe it won't be. I'm trying to remain optimistic, but I don't want to also get, like too ahead of myself and too excited. So basically I'm expecting that I'm going to have to sit for maybe a month. And what I'm shooting for is a full-length contract. And our contracts with the union are for 4 months. What kind of ship, I do not know. Again, hopeful that it'll be a container ship, hopeful that it'll go on the Northern Europe run, because that's what I did last time, and I'm familiar with it. And, oh man, the biggest grand slam out of the park home run would be if I could get my same ship again, that's just complete and utter wishful thinking, so I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but we have every kind of ship in my union. We have car carriers, we have heavy lift ships. I'm even qualified to go on a military ship, although some of my certifications for those, I believe, are expired. So if I end up bidding one of those jobs, then the company that deals with crewing will have to send me to schools before I can go out. Nonetheless, I'm more than willing to do that if that's what the situation demands. Before I can actually get out of here, though, I have to take all of my stuff and get it all packed up and ready to go. Now, I put a thing up on Facebook, and if you're one of my early subscribers here and you found me organically or whatever, feel free to find me on Facebook. I am facebook.com/Sailor Girl Quinn, all one word, or you can just look me up under my name. I am Sailor Quinn. Imagine that you had to pack for a trip that could last almost half a year, and that you didn't know where you were going, and that you could experience weather that could go anywhere from being deep freeze to tropical heat, rain the size of grapes, bugs, sleet, blazing sun, and all the while you could be going on a trip around the world. Really don't know what's going to happen, so I'm kind of having to plan for everything. And so here's the thing. Because the pandemic is on, ordinarily when we get to port, I don't do it all the time, and I'm going to talk more about this when I get out there, but when we go into port, I can normally go ashore. Everybody's like, oh, do you have a girlfriend in every port? I wish. I don't even have a girlfriend here. But most of the time when you go ashore, it is this terrible sacrifice of time, and I don't look forward to it. I'm not a sailor because I wanted to go to far-flung places in the world. That's just not the way it works anymore in modern shipping, and we're going to talk more about that as the time goes on here on this channel. But I do like being able to get off the ship and sometimes go to the store. I'm a girl now, so of course there's all sorts of little girly things that I'm going to want. That I would normally just pick up along the way, which definitely lightens my load in terms of the initial packing. Everything from deodorant to the types of shampoo that you like, any makeup that you want, all of your medications, and there's a lot of medications that make this work. I have to take every last bit of it from here first time, and it's got to go up the gangway with me in one shot. There's an old adage in backpacking that says take less stuff and more money, and if you can't take more money, take less stuff anyway. And I tell you what, it's been like ringing in my brain, like this little voice in the back of my head keeps like repeating that to me over and over and over again. And yet, I have to kind of shout it down with the reality that once I go on the ship, we're almost like going to be like the guys that, what was it, Apollo 9 or Apollo 10, or whichever the moon mission was that didn't land on it, the ones that went before Neil Armstrong, they just went around the moon a couple times and then came back to Earth. That's what this trip is going to be like. No matter where I go, even if I do go all the way around the world, I'll probably never get off the ship. So everything that I need to take with me. And I'm trying to think of every possible eventuality, but I'm trying to meter that with the reality that I can't take everything in my house, right? But it is absolutely everything I could possibly need for my whole life for a half a year. And it all has to be mobile. It all has to not only fit in my car, but it has to fit in the van that's going to bring me out to the ship. It has to be carryable by me, maybe not all at once, but it can't be a moving trucks full of stuff. It can't be steamer trunks. I'm not moving. I'm still traveling. And so it's taken me a couple days just to assemble the stuff, and it's not all packed up, and I'm not going to show you a video of it because, oh my God, it just looks like an utter chaos, like an explosion has gone off in my living room. I mean, I'm going to have a couple days, weeks, months in Virginia, question mark? I don't really know. But I can't plan on that either. I could end up getting a job straight away within a couple days of getting there. So I'm really just kind of planning as if this is it. As I walk out my front door, it's like walking up the gangway. And so this is the really, really initial stage of this whole adventure. And it's stressing me out and it's getting me excited at the same time. It kind of forces you to go through this like weird mental exercise of what is truly important. What can you absolutely not live without? And also, and this has to be taken into consideration, what are those things that are going to keep you alive while you're out there? What's going to be fun? What's going to keep your brain going? Obviously, I take a computer, I take a tablet for reading books. I used to love real books. I still do. But there came a point at which I realized they were just grossly impractical. You know, you could take 3, 4, 5 books with you, you read through them in a couple weeks, and then you have them with you, and they're just a huge cost in weight and space in all of your stuff, right? So, and everything has dual purpose, right? So I'm going to be editing these videos, and so I have a lot of video equipment that's going with me, and that I probably indulged in. But I'm not taking an Xbox. And there's an awful lot of the crew that bring those. In fact, I've seen a guy on a ship that had not only the Xbox, but had a projector and would like project his game on the side of the wall of his room. It was actually really impressive. So, I mean, everybody has their thing, that's mine. And that's what I really hope to be able to do while I'm out there. That's the thing that's going to kind of keep my brain engaged and keep me excited in my free time. What little of it there really is. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a little update as to what's going on, and I will be sharing more as the process moves forward. The next thing that's going to happen, I'll have it all packed up, and then I'm going to be saying goodbye to a couple of my friends, which is always really sad. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as the time goes on. Maybe on the drive down to Virginia, kind of the emotional things that you kind of have to prepare for. Before you go out on one of these long journeys. But we'll talk about that in the next one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching me. If you made it all the way this far, thank you so much. Do me a favor. I'm going to be putting up videos here as often as I can. They say to post regularly. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that because I don't know where I'm going to be. But I'm going to post a lot. So if you want to see my journey and what it's like to be a commercial sailor and be someone like me, #girlslikeus, click like and subscribe. I would be very, very grateful. That's how you can support me. I'm not asking for money. I don't have a Patreon yet. But yeah, click the subscribe button. I would be really grateful. Visit me on Facebook. Visit me on Twitter. I am Sailor Girl Quinn, and I will see you again in the next one.